did everybody go? Zombies, rapture, one big surprise party. Maybe they all took off to another planet. Whatever the reason, you are last person on the Earth. So what would you do? Eat like a king? Movie in the White House? Drive fast? Blow things up? Be naked all the time? Would you pretend you were not alone? How long would you last? This is Alpha Revolution, and here's how you can survive as the last person on Earth. So, you wake up one day and discover that you're the only person left in the planet. Kind of interesting, right? No obligations, no norms, no limits. Go nuts. Step 1. Enjoy the good thing while you can. Go for the exotic fruits first. If your mangoes and bananas are imported from overseas, odds are they'll be challenging to come by. So consume them while you can and savor every last bite. Step 2. Find the secure source of the fuel. You might assume that with no one preventing you, you could go anywhere, but not so quickly. All those abandoned vehicles, watercraft, and aircraft you see lying around will be useless in about 2 years when their fuel goes stale. Guess you'll be staying around. But for how long? Step 3. Find the place to live. If water, food, and shelter are your fundamental requirements, shelter would be the simplest to come by. You'd essentially have a world of residences to choose from. But be cautious where you settle down. Cities would become dangerous, since without appropriate maintenance, they'd start to fall apart fairly quickly. Nature's elements, rain, frost, and heat, would take their toll. Rotten mold would become prevalent, and vegetation would fracture through concrete and break through glass. But even if you were to fight back against nature's reclamation of the land, all it takes is one bolt of lightning to initiate a citywide conflagration, and you can't notify the fire department. So flee for the hills. Step 4. Get yourself some protections. But even the country isn't all that secure. First of all, there are predators you'd need to defend against. Wild canines, feral animals, bears. But you'd only have to worry about them as long as you could still breathe. There are more than 400 nuclear power facilities in the globe. And once their automated safety systems began to fail without human supervision, there would be meltdowns across the planet, rendering many regions simply uninhabitable. Step 5. Find some food. Cuisine. In terms of cuisine, the city would be your best option. Supermarkets have enough preserved and frozen food to last you for decades. Whereas in the country, crops and livestock would start to decline without appropriate care or protection from predators. But if natural is more your style, you'd have to go back to the ancient methods of hunting with a spear or a bow, since ammunition would be limited and difficult to come by. Maybe you could cultivate your own little vegetable garden, but that would cut into your water resources. Step 6. It's all about the water. Without other humans, you'd be without electricity. Water pumping stations and treatment works would close down, and the fresh water kept in reservoirs would go stale quite rapidly. You could rely on bottled water, and you'd undoubtedly have thousands of volumes to go through, but eventually, you'd have to learn how to purify your own. Step 7. Be smart and start learning. You'd have to teach yourself a lot of things, but fortunate for you, you've got a lot of time on your hands, and millions of texts out there with all the information you'd need to survive effectively on your own. So, while it might be challenging at first, you could conceivably survive as the last human on Earth. But would you really want to? Humans evolved together as social creatures in order to endure. We joined forces against starvation and harsh weather, and built families and communities to share stories, empathize, and keep each other joyful and healthy. Human contact has been scientifically proved to develop trust and reduce stress. So while it's likely to restrict your style, be pleased it's a small world. We need each other more than you think. That's it for today's video. Subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Stay tuned for more intriguing scenarios on our channel.